So Rachel, fill us in. How did this get started? What's driving it? Where's it going?
Right. I mean, it's definitely quite a bad situation for Singapore. It looks like everything's traced back to this karaoke clusters, basically karaoke lounges that were operating, illegally, really, as food and beverage outlets. But there was obviously social activity going on with some short-term women who were in the country working on short-term permits. It does look as if that cluster has been spreading in Singapore for some time undetected, because now we're looking at different clusters coming out of that. One from a fish port as well, which is where most of the wet markets locally get their fish supplies. So now there's a bit of concern on a run on fresh fish as well. So it's definitely a situation that's very challenging for Singapore, and it comes at a time that Singapore has said it wants to shift away from this COVID-0 aggressive approach. But this is a setback. They're not going to be able to reopen or ease restrictions more as long as this cluster is ongoing.
Rachel, in the meantime, are we seeing a little bit of an improvement when it comes to Hong Kong's vaccination rate?
We are seeing some improvement. I mean, vaccinations have reached 2 million, but at the same time, Hong Kong's situation, if you look globally, is still very, very bad. Only about 25% are coming forward for vaccination. That's compared to almost 50% in Singapore. Obviously in the US, UK, those numbers are reaching above 60%. In Hong Kong, I think the resistance there is still quite strong. And because there has been no cases, I think cases have been zero for over a month now. There is no urgency. People are not worried. People are living life normally. Unfortunately, the truth is that probably those rates will only go up when another outbreak happens, which is a sad situation.
So, Rachel, as the Tokyo Olympics get underway this week, what is it, something like 85% of Japanese people say they don't approve. How does the rest of Asia look at the fact that Prime Minister Suga has pushed on in a time when so many people think this should not be happening?
Right, and I think, what people are fearing is coming to pass to some extent. We do see a lot of athletes testing positive now, very high-profile people like Coco Gauff. It doesn't seem to be the time to be holding an event like this. I think that is the overall impression that most people across Asia and the world do feel. There isn't that same sense of excitement, kind of global unity that the Olympics usually brings people together for. But this event has just so many stakeholders and so many sponsors just driving it to happen. And so, at this point, we're a couple of days away and it's happening no matter what.